Hello, I'm Joe Denley and I'll be answering Tilly's questions today.
What is your most embarrassing cricket moment?
Wow. Straight in with the embarrassing question. I mean, I can't think off the top of my head. I guess not embarrassing, but when you get hit in the box, that's never nice because the cricket ball's quite hard. So yeah, that's never nice.
How did you get into cricket? My
family are quite big cricket people from Whitstable Cricket Club. My dad used to play, my brothers, and obviously my nephew now is playing for Kent. So yeah, just cricket's in the family down at Whitstable Cricket Club.
What is your favourite cricket ground?
Apart from down here at Canterbury, obviously, I'd have to say I've had quite a lot of success at the Oval. Playing there, it's quite a nice batting wicket. So yeah, second to Canterbury, probably the Oval.
What is your highlight of your cricket career?
Good question. I've been lucky enough. I've played for quite a long time, and there's been so many great memories. But making my Kent debut was always a childhood dream, and I've been able to accomplish that. And I suppose representing my country as well was pretty special. So yeah, those two things are certainly favourite memories.
What do you like to do when you're not playing?
So I've got 3 young children now, and so when I'm not playing cricket or training, I'm normally in the back garden playing with them, and they're quite sporty as well. So lots of sports and playing in the back garden with the kids.
Who was your cricket hero growing up?
I grew up watching the great Australian team. I always enjoyed watching the great battles in the Ashes series. Ricky Ponting was probably one of my heroes. I'm not sure you would have heard of Ricky Ponting, would you? No, you'll have to Google him when you get back. He was a very, very good player.
Have you got a favourite team to beat?
Yeah, it's always nice beating Surrey. They're kind of rivals of ours, and yeah, it's always nice to get a win over them, and especially when you contribute to a winning team as well. Beating Surrey is always a nice one.
And what was your all-time favourite match to play in?
Again, I've been lucky enough to play in a lot of amazing matches. Obviously playing with England, played in some great series, played in the 2019 Ashes series, which was incredible. That Ben Stokes day at Headingley was pretty cool. But personally, I guess, again, beating Surrey at the Oval in the T20 match, I managed to get 100 and a hat-trick. And we beat Surrey as well, so that was probably one of my favourite matches.
That's all.
Lovely, thanks Tilly.
So how did the toss go?
Unfortunately, we lost the toss and we're going to be bowling first. Probably would have had a bat myself, but it looks like a really good pitch, so I don't think it's going to matter too much.
So how do you think? What are your predictions for the match?
Oh, definitely a Kent win. Hopefully we bowl them out for less than 200 and chase them quite easily, but they're quite a strong side, so I think it should be a good one to watch.
Sounds enjoyable.
Happy days.
Keep going, keep going.
What skills do you think you bring to the team?
Oh, that's a good question. I like to think I bring a little bit with the new ball sometimes, and a bit of power hitting with the bat, and I like to think I put in some effort in the field, even though I made a few blunders today, unfortunately. But yeah, that'd be me.
And what are your thoughts on the match?
It was an interesting one. It was a tight finish. Yeah, it's a tough one to take, losing by 6 runs, I think it was. But yeah, you got to give credit to them. They bowled really well, especially at the death there, their spinners. So yeah, it was unfortunate, but I thought Harry and Jack played beautifully to get us to the stage where we were and give us a real shot at winning there.
What is your favourite position to play?
Oh, another good question. I'd have to say probably when you're batting and there's a few overs to go and you get to try and smack a lot of sixes. That's probably the funnest part.
I like that bit. Do you find it easier or harder to come on to bat later in the match?
Yeah, I'd say it depends on the conditions at times. It can be difficult in different situations, but it's always nice to come in, and you like to think it probably gets easier the more balls you get to face. So it can be tough when you got to try and go in there and start scoring really quickly from ball one. But I'd say probably if you got a few balls to get your eye in and then keep going, that's probably the ideal position.
Who's your cricket hero?
Oh, it's another good question. I look at a few players, but I go back to when I was a kid. I loved Steve Waugh growing up, so he was one of my favourites. I'll go with him. Who's yours, Tilly? Who's your hero, cricketing hero?
I don't really have one yet. I'm pretty early in.
Fair enough. Still developing that.
Yeah. And if you weren't a cricket player, what would you do?
Oh, another good question. I'd say I'd probably be looking at civil engineering. I went to uni and worked a bit in civil engineering before I moved to England. So probably be going down that route if I wasn't a cricketer.
What was the highlight of the match for you?
The highlight, another great question. I think seeing Harry hit a six to bring up his 100. He's been batting really well this whole tournament, and seen us through some tricky periods. And it was nice to see him get 100, a nice milestone, and bring it up in fashion with a six.
That's all I've got.
Oh, lovely. Great questions.